Tonight on CTV News at 6, the latest on the search for a child missing from northwestern Alberta. Also tonight.
She basically tore her house apart looking for these documents.
The new challenges of renewing a driver's license in our province.
They will not issue her a driver's license until she can prove her citizenship.
A beloved wild horse shot and killed.
They're not just wild horses to a lot of these people.
A substantial reward for helping to find the person responsible. And a car show for a cause.
The stories are somewhat cheesy, but the cars are awesome.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. There are new developments in the case of a 6-year-old boy missing from northwestern Alberta near Grande Prairie. The Amber Alert in place since early yesterday in Alberta has been cancelled. However, the alert was in place for longer in BC. Connor Hogg is here now with more. Connor, that BC alert has been called off as well?
Jeff, while the Amber Alert still appears active on the BC Emergency Information website, RCMP have told me the alerts have been cancelled in both provinces. They did say the 6-year-old and the people he's with are still considered missing, and police are still looking for them. The RCMP says the case no longer meets the criteria for an Amber Alert. That's because there's no reasonable expectation that the public in Alberta or BC will be able to help find them. For that reason, we are no longer sharing the boy's name, his photo, or his mother's. The Amber Alert was first called early yesterday morning. Police say the boy was taken earlier this week from Valhalla Centre, Alberta, about 150 kilometers from where he was last seen Wednesday in Fort St. John, BC. He's believed to be with his mom and 2 other people traveling in a red 2006 Ford F-350. The RCMP says anyone with information about the group's whereabouts should contact authorities. And for the latest updates on this developing story, visit our website, ctvnewsedmonton.ca. Jeff?
All right, Connor, thank you. Connor Hogg live tonight. Police are trying to identify a man who sexually assaulted a teenage girl last month. Police say in late June, 2 teen girls were walking in the River Valley near Grandview Drive and 62nd Avenue. A man they did not know walked past them before doubling back and sexually assaulting one of the girls. She was able to get away and run to a nearby neighborhood. Police say the man was described as Asian or Indigenous, around 40 years old, between 5'6" and 5'8", with a thin build and messy brown hair. They say he had a noticeable slouch and a slow walk. 5 additional victims have accused a local massage therapist of sexual assault. In mid-June, Edmonton police charged Julio Uribe Beltran with 1 count of sexual assault. A client of his at Bamboo Wellness in southeast Edmonton reported he touched her in a sexual manner without consent during an appointment. Leduc RCMP have now charged Beltran with 6 more counts of sexual assault. Those charges stem from alleged incidents at True Touch Massage Therapy and Fitness in Leduc between July 2025 and April of 2026. A woman says her 84-year-old mother is searching for her marriage certificate from the 60s so she can take a driving test. It's just one of the documents Albertans may need to find now that the province has introduced new licenses. Jeremy Thompson reports.
Tina Engram's mother, Shirley, was excited to take her driving test next week. The 84-year-old's license expired while she was recovering from a stroke.
When it came up to her birthday, she had to have a clearance and a medical, and so she did all of that.
When she booked the test at a registry, she was told she'd need to present documents like a birth certificate or passport.
She can take the test, and they will give her a temporary driver's license, but they will not issue her a driver's license until she can prove her citizenship. She basically tore her house apart looking for these documents.
Shirley found her birth certificate, but it shows her maiden name, so she also needs to find her marriage certificate from 1961. Engram believes the new requirements for Alberta driver's licenses are discriminatory towards women and inconvenient for everyone.
It's the time now required to get those documents if you don't have them.
The minister in charge of Service Alberta and red tape reduction was unavailable for an interview. In a statement to CTV News, Dale Nally says a one-time 60-day grace period is available for an undisclosed fee to people who need time to get their documents in order. Adding, ahead of the rollout, we communicated directly with Albertans whose driver's licenses or ID cards were approaching expiry to ensure they knew what documentation to bring to the registry.
This has proven to be an extremely problematic policy. It's a solution in search of a problem. We don't know what problem the government is trying to solve here.
Now that Alberta driver's licenses display a citizenship marker and health number, there's a range of documents to bring to the registry. Something to show you're living in Alberta legally or to prove you're Canadian, plus an official version of your Alberta health card. As much as Ingram is frustrated by her mother's experience, she also feels for the registry agents.
The province made this decision, and people were angry when they got to the counter and were being told they had to produce this information and they didn't know.
Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The province's requirements for its energy rebate are also posing problems for some seniors. Critics are also raising privacy concerns while the province defends its need to obtain identifying information. CTV's Mark Villani has more.
Alberta is handing out $100 to anyone over the age of 18. But first, you need to prove you live in a household that makes less than $225,000 annually. The CRA already has that information through tax returns. But the province is still asking for you to verify your account through Interac.
The thing that I really don't understand myself is why they didn't have CRA administer the program.
The added step is raising privacy questions, with some reluctant to give their banking information, many citing trust issues following a data breach impacting 3 million Albertans who had their private voter information allegedly leaked by a separatist group.
I'm actually quite interested after looking into this, whether there was a privacy impact assessment and whether it talked about these things and what justification was given.
In a statement, the province says the government of Alberta does not have legal authority to access or use personal banking information an Albertan has provided to the CRA. Both Interac and document verification services are used to verify identity. While tax data is used to verify eligibility, it does not confirm that person completing the application is that individual. But some people are struggling to apply altogether.
I can't see small print.
Take 64-year-old Mary Beth Aksenchuk. The senior citizen has difficulty with her vision and isn't tech savvy. She's unable to apply for the rebate on her outdated phone, and her letters to the province were answered with little support.
It didn't even address my concerns. Nobody is listening. It's an automated reply.
It's why several nonprofit groups are now using this as an opportunity to provide free financial coaching.
So we encourage people to connect with a financial coach so they can access that benefit navigation support.
Meanwhile, others are citing concerns over the need to have an Alberta driver's license to apply. One man is upset his wife had to pay an extra $54 to get one, even though she has lived and worked in the province for years as a permanent resident.
It's pretty confusing as to what's going on. So definitely, maybe the government should work on actually aligning their systems or testing them a little bit better.
And for some, they say their concerns are falling on deaf ears.
That kind of frustrating when you know you're being ignored.
A substantial reward is being offered for information that leads to the arrest of the person who killed a wild horse. A wild stallion named Greyhawk was found dead by campers on the side of a road west of Caroline. The Help Alberta Wildies Society says someone shot the horse in the head. It says Greyhawk roamed the area and was well loved by campers and photographers. It's believed the stallion was killed last Tuesday, June 30th, between 5:30 and 6:30 p.m. The Society has raised $35,000 in donations to put towards a reward to find Greyhawk's killer.
They're not just wild horses to a lot of these people. A lot of these people, follow these horses through their stages from, foaling out to what they have to sustain in their lives, of how it is to survive out in the wild, because they have many predators that are after them. And now they have to not only look after the predators over their shoulder, but now they're looking after somebody with a gun.
RCMP says so far it has little information to go on. The Society hopes the reward will help generate tips. Capital Line LRT will be closed between the Churchill and Clairview stations this weekend. Replacement buses will run between both stations on both days. Tonight, after 8 p.m. and all day Monday, Capital Line trains will be running on a single track between the stations. Full service of the Capital Line between Churchill and Clairview will resume Tuesday morning. There will also be a disruption Sunday to the Valley Line Southeast, north of the Strathern stop. A shuttle will operate between Strathern and 102nd Street. There is a new splash of color along White Avenue this weekend. Artists from across the province are showcasing their work, with several competing for a spot in the Alberta Art Gallery. Noah Rashog has more.
Walking up and down White Avenue, you may as well be at a gallery. Pop art, collages, memes, and even music. Art is interpretive, and it's out here in its many forms.
But sometimes I will pour out something and it will look so ridiculous or bizarre. One day I painted a giant orange lobster because that's what came out of the cup, right?
Most of these artists are from Alberta. Their art touches on the common experiences and culture of Edmonton.
I live near White Ave, so I always just kind of painted what I knew, and I always loved going to the places on White Ave. So a lot of the restaurants and bars, or even just like random iconic landmarks like the Princess Theatre and such, are always fun to have. So I always painted those. I liked them, and then people respond to them well. They buy them too for the same reasons.
Every artist here has a story about how their journey of artistic expression began.
I kind of used it more as like a stress reliever when I first started doing it, and then people started showing a little bit of a want for it, so I thought I could make a little bit of money, and it's been doing really good.
Hey, how's it going?
This weekend, artists will go toe-to-toe in a competition. Attendees are encouraged to vote for their favorite.
The winners of the People's Choice will be exhibited in the Community Gallery in the Art Gallery of Alberta. And for many of our artists, these are emerging artists. This is very much a milestone, and it will be great to be able to showcase even more Edmonton artists.
McNamara says that although she hopes she's the winner, the experience of being here and sharing her art is a reward enough. Noah Rashog, CTV News, Edmonton.
Rock fans are set for a weekend of music and nostalgia as Rock and Thunder returns to Edmonton.
There's no simple ways like before.
Tragically Hip guitarist Paul Langlois will be performing Sunday. Langlois says fans can expect a range of songs from the Tragically Hip and his current solo career.
This is a group of friends of mine, and they're all really good. They're all really enthusiastic. And I've done my last 2 solo records with these same 4 guys. And these guys are so excited about Edmonton, you know, to fly to a gig. We're flying in tomorrow night. And, you know, it's just exciting.
Other performances include 3 Days Grace and Creed. The festival runs Saturday and Sunday at the Exhibition Lands Racetrack and Edmonton Expo Centre. The lake is now open at Horlack Park.
All right, enjoy, guys.
It's open 10 to 10 daily for people to paddle boat, kayak, or paddle board. Rentals are being done through the Vancouver water sport company Wild Rush. The company has big plans this summer involving its see-through kayaks.
From 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., it's going to be a glowing night kayaks. So we're going to put LED lights on the kayaks, and then it's going to be amazing in this lake.
Other plans for later this summer include having connecting paddle boards to host events like Yoga on the Water. Rentals start at $19 an hour and are open to all ages. The Edmonton Elks are now first in the Western Division after a decisive win over Ottawa.
And inside, it's Justin Rankin bouncing off the initial contact and about to walk it in for the opening drive score.
Edmonton faced Ottawa last night at Commonwealth Stadium. Justin Rankin scored 3 touchdowns as the Elks rolled over the Red Blacks by a score of 40-17. The Elks improved to 4-1 on the season. A sports analyst who often helps us break down plays almost ended up in the middle of one last night.
Tom Gazzola was nearly killed on the play.
During the second quarter of the game, Red Blacks receiver Justin Hardy comes down with an impressive catch and then gets pushed out of bounds. TSN's sideline reporter Tom Gazzola nearly got taken out. Gazzola heard plenty of comments about it from his colleagues on the broadcast, his friends over text, and his parents who were watching the game at Commonwealth.
It's great when your parents are a few rows up watching and yelling at you like you're a 5-year-old because you did the wrong thing. So remember, kids, listen to your parents.
Gazzola says he saw his life flash before his eyes. He says he'll knock on wood that never happens again. All right, first check on weather. Josh, out and about tonight at the Enoch Cree Nation Pow-Wow grounds.
Yeah, sorry, I'm having trouble hearing exactly what you're saying down there, but we are at Enoch Cree Nation for the 32nd annual Pow-Wow, and we have Councillor Wesley Stamp here to talk a little bit about the importance of this. I mean, people like me think about Pow-Wow and they think about the dancing. There's more to it than that. This is a real cultural experience for you.
Yes, this is not only dancing here, and it's more of a come together. We get together and we bring the culture together. The people. This is our place of healing. This is a place where we hear the stories. We watch our regalia. We learn from that. There's a lot going on with these powwows, and it's just a special place to be at.
Sure, and people from all over North America.
Yeah, all over America, all over Treaty 6, all over even in the States. Yeah. So they come out and enjoy this powwow. Because families connect. We connect families here and people. Just right.
Yeah. So lots going on. And speaking of what's going on, I believe that's an emergency alert. We do actually have a tornado warning. We're going to get a little more details on that in just a few moments west of here. For anybody that's coming down this weekend, what can they expect?
There's a lot of food, a lot of vendors, a lot of snacks, a lot of dancing, a lot of talking, a lot of fun, and grand entries at 7. Come down, get your water, River Creator, just enjoy it, and also bring your snagging blankets.
Yeah, you gotta shout out the sponsors, right, at River Creek. Councillor Stamp,
one of our biggest sponsors.
Thank you so much. We're going to talk a little bit more about the severe thunderstorm watches and warnings and that tornado warning in just a couple of minutes once we have a chance. Councillor Stamp, thanks so much.
All right, thank you, Josh. Still ahead, a jump in unemployment in Alberta.
Honestly, I feel like if you don't know someone, it's very hard to find a job.
Well, at least one economist says there's a light at the end of the tunnel in a tough market also ahead.
And there's a lot of costs that are accumulated just getting the product from the mill where it's produced to then the customer afterwards.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Okay, we have an update now. Some breaking news. Josh was touching on it in his weather forecast. The province has issued a tornado warning for several communities, including in Parkland County, near Entwistle, Tomahawk, Wabman, and Seba Beach, among others. It says Environment Canada is tracking a severe storm that is possibly producing a tornado. Affected areas include the ones we mentioned, as well as Betula Beach. Anyone in those areas should seek shelter, ideally in a basement or sturdy building, lie low, and move away from the path of the tornado. You can go to the Alberta Emergency Alert website or app for the most recent updated information. Well, there are signs of stability in Canada's job market. Alberta's unemployment rate is up. CTV's Moses Woldu has more.
There was a time when applying for a job was a full-time job for Valerie Martinez, as she was looking for work after finishing high school.
Probably like 10 to 15 different jobs. I went on Indeed and then also on the pages, and then I applied from there, but I never got an answer.
Martinez is now a server and an assistant at this restaurant. She managed to get the job with the help of her brother.
It's so hard. Honestly, I feel like if you don't know someone, it's very hard to find a job.
Youth unemployment in Alberta reached 15.8% in June, and Alberta's overall unemployment numbers came in at 7%. Stats Can says that's worse than the national average. Canada's unemployment rate dropped to 6.5%. But there's light at the end of the tunnel, according to one economist.
So what we're seeing in the numbers is
more jobs, but also more job seekers.
Mark Parsons of ATB Financial calls the numbers unusual, adding Alberta remains a destination for many job seekers.
Overall, it's a good sign that people feel like their future is in Alberta and they're coming here. The challenge is just, creating the jobs at the rate people are arriving.
Parsons says the service industry and other sectors beyond oil and gas contributed to the provincial job numbers last month, like Martinez, who says she's one of the fortunate ones compared to those still looking for work.
Talk to my friends and they're always complaining because they don't have a job and they apply, and they don't get anything.
Moses Wildu, CTV News, Calgary.
Following a spike in lumber prices during the pandemic, costs have dropped significantly. That drop has so far not been passed on to builders or homeowners. Measured in per 1,000 board feet, the Canadian national average for softwood lumber now sits at $700. That's down from $2,000 in 2021. While some businesses have reported price drops on pressure-treated wood, cedar, and specialty items have seen steady cost increases year over year. The Alberta Forest Products Association says operating costs are still high.
There's a lot of other compounding costs that we have to look at, like inflationary pressures, upticks in fuel and energy prices. Fuel is something I think all of us can really see the impact of, especially given the ongoing war right now. Transportation challenges are a really big one. There's a lot of costs that are accumulated just getting the product from the mill where it's produced to then the customer afterwards.
Even as some costs continue to rise, several contractors say prices in 2026 have leveled out after continual increases. They say the season has been quite busy. Still ahead, famous cars from Fast and Furious rolling into town.
Got some snow tires?
The Hot Wheels from Hollywood are just one of the attractions at a new local car show in support of kids with cancer.
The stories are somewhat cheesy, but the cars are awesome.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Some cars you may recognize from the movies will be in Leduc this weekend. Dozens of supercars are on display at a new show supporting the Kids with Cancer Society. Matt Woodman has a preview.
Over 25 years, the Fast and the Furious film franchise has taken fans to the mean streets of LA, the bright lights of Tokyo, even the icy waters of the Arctic.
Forgot some snow tires?
What about the rural roads of Leduc?
Iconic. You feel like a little bit of a movie star.
While there's no Hollywood film crew here, there will be 3 cars from the movies at a new car show at New Age Motors this Saturday.
The stories are somewhat cheesy, but the cars are awesome.
You can see Vin Diesel's Charger, as well as Paul Walker's Eclipse and his Skyline.
It was one of the first car movies that focused primarily on the street racing scene, and everybody just fell in love with it.
If rides from the Fast and the Furious don't get your motor running, there are plenty of other cars to check out. From expensive exotics to classic American muscle, the shop's owner says there's a little something for every gearhead.
Right now we are about 83 cars in. Basically our motto is if you are proud of your vehicle, we want to see it.
They also want to hear it. Drivers can bring out their own rides and rip up the burnout pad, or measure their horsepower, with trophies and thousands of dollars in prizes up for grabs. They're not only raising RPMs, they're also raising money for charity.
100% of everything we're raising goes to the Kids with Cancer Society.
While the show is free to see, you're encouraged to make a donation. New Age Motors also hopes this inaugural car show, dubbed NAMFest, becomes an annual one.
We just wanted to be something that people not only enjoy, but they were excited to do the next year and the next year.
NAMFest runs Saturday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Matt Woodman, CTV News, Leduc.
Venues and outdoor spaces across Edmonton are getting a creative makeover as part of the annual Found Fest. Presented by Common Ground Arts, the Found Festival has everything from a 12-hour dance performance to poetry. The event brings a range of performances to iconic locations around the city. The Found Festival began 15 years ago by a group of local artists.
a group of Edmonton-based artists got together and they were feeling quite frustrated by the lack of accessible, inexpensive performance space, and so they decided to create their own by performing in unexpected places. And we really love to carry on that tradition of bringing art to locations that you might not originally think that there should be art in. We're really, really proud to be on the forefront of pushing the boundaries of where art can be taking place.
Performance venues include the John Walter Museum, Light Horse Park, and Robertson Wesley United Church. The festival is free and runs through Monday. Let's take another look at weather now. Josh is out at the Enoch Cree Nation Pow-Wow grounds. Josh.
Yeah, the tornado warning, Jeff, has just been ended for areas west of Edmonton, and I apologize. We are dealing with some technical difficulties out here west of the city, but we're going to do our best to walk you through this. I was just talking to some RCMP. They have received confirmation. Highway 43 and Highway 16 area west of Edmonton, that's near Tomahawk. They are saying they have confirmation of a tornado touching down there within the last half hour. That storm is moving east, kind of right along or just south of Highway 16. If you take a look at these graphics, if you guys in the control room can go through to those watches and warnings, all the areas in yellow under a severe thunderstorm watch, the areas in red under a severe thunderstorm warning. As we said, there was a tornado warning earlier. That tornado warning has been ended, but let's keep an eye on, just because it's only a severe thunderstorm warning right now for that storm there west of the city. You can see it just by the G in Evansburg. That does not mean that we're out of the woods just yet. So we'll have to continue to watch this storm system as it continues to track off to the east and southeast. You can see on the radar map, that is now just west of Edmonton. There's also a thunderstorm. We had a severe thunderstorm warning associated with that storm just southwest of Leduc. That was likely producing some sizable hail as well as some heavy downpours. Looks like that storm system is going to pass south of Edmonton, but Leduc area is getting hit with that right now. And it's that big storm, that cluster there just west of Edmonton, kind of along Highway 16, sort of Stony Plain area and just south. That is on almost a direct collision course with Edmonton, should hit the west end of Edmonton. Based on how fast that thing is moving, it's probably within the next hour at the latest, half hour to an hour. So we do have behind that a little bit of clearing. I think once you get through to sort of 8 p.m., that storm should be out of the Edmonton area. But for the next little while, you do want to take precautions. There's a very good chance that not only are we going to see some heavy rain and downpours with that and possibly some sizable hail in the Edmonton area, but it does look like that storm system possibly still has a little bit of broad scale rotation to it. So we'll keep an eye on that situation. As far as the forecast is concerned for the next 24 hours, you do have through the evening that risk of a thunderstorm, possibly a severe thunderstorm, and then overnight, again, around midnight, another chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms. And that risk for showers and thunderstorms carries through the morning hours tomorrow. A bit of a break, it looks like midday, kind of a repeat tomorrow of what we had today, where you get a chance of some stormy weather early in the morning, then some sunny breaks, sort of midday, early afternoon, and then into the evening hours again, a chance of a shower or thunderstorm. We got to 25 degrees for a daytime high today. Should be a little bit cooler tomorrow, high of 22. If you look at the 5-day forecast, Sunday looks a little bit more settled. Partly cloudy skies. I mean, there is still a slight chance that you might see a hit and miss shower in the area, but I really think the best chance, not only tomorrow afternoon, but Sunday as well, for some thunderstorms is going to be across northern parts of the province. Heat rolls in for early next week and things kind of settle down. Sunshine, temperatures in the mid to high 20s through Monday and Tuesday of next week. Let's just very quickly, before we wrap up here, let's try and get back to the warnings, double check one last time on those warnings, and still just a severe thunderstorm warning. Tornado warning remains canceled for areas west of the city, but keep a close eye on this situation. I mean, this is a great reminder to have a way to get alerts. Not only push notifications to your phone through the Alberta Emergency Alerts, but if you can download the the Environment Canada weather app, and set your notifications to your local area or to follow me, you'll be updated almost immediately as these watches and warnings are updated. We'll continue to watch the situation, and hopefully that storm does stay just producing hail and rain for the remainder of this evening. Jeff.
Okay. Thank you, Josh. Still ahead on CTV News at 6, how Canadians may be able to take a bite out of a lawsuit settlement.
It leaves a bad taste in customers' mouths.
More on beef price-fixing allegations against a pair of major meat producers, and
it's been incredibly effective for small producers like us.
Canadian provinces standing firm as American politicians try to end a tariff-related booze ban. In butcher shops and markets across the country, the price of beef has steadily risen. There are now allegations that 2 international suppliers are involved in price fixing. CTV's Adrian Gobriel has more on the proposed $8 million class action lawsuit settlement that you may be able to take a bite out of.
An allegation that's been tough for Canadians to digest. Wholesale beef giants JBS and National Beef have been accused of price fixing, driving up the cost of red meat in Canada. While not an admission of guilt, combined the 2 companies have offered to pony up $8 million as part of a class action lawsuit settlement. Restaurants won't be able to cash in on the lawsuit, though Canadian consumers can, as will butcher shops who purchase beef for resale. Inside a last meat market in Toronto, they sell JBS beef. Owner George Laganis praises the quality of their cuts, though he admits allegations that one of his suppliers may have taken part in price fixing has been difficult for consumers to stomach.
It leaves a bad taste in customers' mouths because we see a large increase in prices quickly.
As part of the settlement agreement, JBS has agreed to pay out more than $7 million. National Beef has committed to forking over $495,000. The amount individual Canadians can expect has yet to be determined. Even though JBS has agreed to pay out millions, an email from a company spokesperson says in part, "We believe the claims are without merit, and the agreement was entered into solely to avoid the expense and uncertainty of prolonged litigation." Again, it says he'd rather see more regulations limiting the price that large wholesalers can charge for red meat.
They're going to pay out the $7.5 million. Great, everybody's going to be happy. Where's that going to come from? It's going to come from the customer's pocket again. So it's just a vicious circle.
For Canadians who want to add their names to the class action lawsuit, the courts are expected to approve a payment process in the months ahead. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Canada used to be the top export market for American wines, but in the face of provincial booze bans, the market share has dropped. As CTV's Abigail Beeman reports, U.S. lawmakers are ramping up calls to drop the bans.
Thanks to the ban on American booze, Ontario's Westcott Vineyards is expanding, and liquor store sales have jumped 600%.
We are leaning into this and expect our business to continue to grow, whether those products come back or not.
Owner Carolyn Hurst is happy to keep the ban in place and wants premiers to stand their ground.
It's been incredibly effective for small producers like us. Every dollar that's been spent on an Ontario wine and on a Westcott wine has gone right back into the province of Ontario.
There are new pushes from American lawmakers to get rid of the ban. California Senator Adam Schiff posted it's causing devastating harm. He sent this letter to Quebec's premier asking her to rescind it. While New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney launched legislation to investigate Canada for unfair trade practices called the Combating Attacks on Our National Alcoholic Drinks by Allies, or Canada Act.
Just want to get this deal done, and then we'll put that booze back on the shelves.
Ontario has held firm, while Quebec's premier's office told us in a statement this measure will remain in effect as long as the United States maintains these unjustified tariffs.
Canada is violating our own trade agreement with the Americans.
Former trade advisor to Stephen Harper, Meredith Lilly, believes the provinces overstepped.
I expect that there is a dance happening behind the scenes, and it would be my preference if the provinces took cues from the federal government. It's my hope that the federal government is seeking to get them back on the shelves.
Lilly says the ban is a tricky situation to unwind. Ottawa can't publicly call for it to be removed if the premiers hold firm. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
The BC government is attempting to seize the properties of a gangster who was indicted in a major investigation by U.S. authorities this week. Police say 40-year-old Gurwinder Singh Dio was arrested in France Tuesday and is awaiting extradition to the U.S. Dio was one of 37 people charged in the FBI's Operation Hardball and is accused of aiding a major Indian crime group buying and shipping large amounts of cocaine and heroin through the U.S. Now, BC's Director of Civil Forfeiture is going after his properties, including this multi-million-dollar West Vancouver home. The suit claims that and 2 Surrey properties were purchased through the proceeds of unlawful activity. A highly valuable artwork has returned to Britain after nearly 1,000 years abroad. The famed Bea tapestry was moved under the cover of darkness, a carefully planned journey from a secret location in northern France. The artifact was guided by a police escort and transported in a specially designed container to control temperature and humidity. The piece is insured for an estimated £800 million, equal to over 1.5 billion Canadian dollars. It tells the story of the Norman conquest of England and the Battle of Hastings in 1066. The medieval masterpiece has been loaned to the UK for 9 months and will be displayed at the British Museum in London. A Buckingham Palace source says King Charles met with Prince Harry and his family today for the first time in years. Publicly today, the prince attended an event counting down to the Invictus Games next year. Separately and without cameras present, the palace source says King Charles and Queen Camilla met Harry, Meghan, and their kids Archie and Lilibet at the King's Highgrove estate in Western England. The palace source described the meeting as a private family occasion and said no pictures, video, or further details would be released. Still ahead, mixed reviews.
The town definitely doesn't need any more volume, especially traffic-wise.
This small town kind of runs off tourism, so to have the more people, the better.
The impact of the Canada Strong Pass on Alberta's mountain parks as more than just Canadians make use of the free admission. Also next, tickets for FIFA's biggest match still up for grabs. A look at the price point after the break.
Programming brought to you by K-Days. The best 10 days of summer are back.
Checking on the markets, the Canadian dollar up by more than 0.1%, trading a little under 71 cents US. Oil down 67 cents, ending the day around $71. Gold lost $27 on the day. On the stock market, the TSX is up 104 points. The Dow Jones gained 149. The busy summer season is getting into full swing in Alberta mountain parks, no doubt aided by no-cost access thanks to the Canada Strong Pass. While the pass is easing pressure on some people's wallets, not everyone is on board with the freebie. CTV's Tyler Barrow explains.
World-class destination Lake Louise draws visitors from around the globe.
We live outside of Houston, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. The States, North Carolina.
Belfast in Ireland.
Sydney, Australia. Speaking with 20 different groups at Lake Louise, 4 were from Canada, 6 United States, and 10 elsewhere in the world. They picked the right time to come. As of June 19th, entering to national parks is free with the Canada Strong Pass.
We didn't know that up front, that existed.
I didn't look at that, see if it was free or not.
It was quite surprising that you could run through all the national parks for free over the summer break.
Free access for everyone was a Mark Carney 2025 campaign promise, now renewed for a second year. It was meant to encourage Canadians to travel within the country amid a trade war with the United States. But it's also free for anyone, while the Trump administration is charging foreigners for access to its national parks.
We're expecting to see the same, and part of that is because of the Canada Strong Pass incentivizing day visitors into the town.
Banff's mayor says the pass causes additional pressures, pointing to nearly 7 million vehicles passing through last summer, a record. Independent Senator and former Banff Mayor Karen Sorensen says the Canada Strong Pass drives more visitation to already popular destinations and worries this has exacerbated issues with overcrowding and traffic congestion for tourists and residents alike. One longtime resident shares those concerns.
The town definitely doesn't need any more volume, especially traffic-wise.
Here at the town's farmers market, this vendor is on board.
A lot of people are coming into Banff, and this small town kind of runs off tourism, so to have the more people, the better.
A sentiment shared with at least one restaurant owner.
I appreciate the fact that people can come and visit and make travel more affordable for them as well.
The pass runs until September 7th. Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Banff.
Honda Canada is recalling more than 32,000 Odyssey vehicles across Canada. An assembly error could lead to the rear-view camera malfunctioning. A similar recall has also been made in the U.S., affecting more than 300,000 vehicles. The Honda Odyssey is no longer in production, and registered owners of all current vehicles will be contacted by mail starting in August. They'll be asked to take their vehicle to an authorized dealer. The federal government says companies interested in renovating the Prime Minister's official residence have until August 15th to register. So far, 16 firms have expressed an interest in helping to renovate and modernize 24 Sussex Drive. It's part of the government's national design and build competition for the historic residence. No one has lived there since June 2015. The National Capital Commission closed the building to the public in 2022 because of health and safety concerns. A fundraising campaign to support the restoration is underway with a goal of $50 million. Heading into the quarterfinals of the FIFA World Cup, there are still nearly 1,200 tickets up for grabs for the big final July the 19th. The World Cup final will be held at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. It's just over a week before the showdown. The remaining Category 2 tickets are priced at more than $7,300. FIFA is also selling 68 front Category 1 tickets in the lower deck at prices ranging from nearly $20,000 to more than $32,000.
Stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you tonight on CTV.
For most tourists, dropping their phone in the ocean means it's gone for good. One North Vancouver man is on a mission to help reunite lost phones with their owners. CTV's Isabella Zavarisi reports.
Diver Henry Wang is on a mission to find a prized possession most of us have glued to our hands.
I'll go out, do a single dive, and I'll pull out like 10 phones, just on one dive.
On a dive earlier this week in False Creek, Wang scoured the ocean floor for a tourist's phone.
They came here for the World Cup, and then they did a road trip all the way to Banff and back, enjoying our beautiful country, and of course all of the photos were on that phone.
He eventually found it, still working.
We were taking some pictures last night over there and just slipped out of our hands.
It's an iPhone 16 Pro Max, so it's not cheap, right? But it's the memories always.
Wang has recovered hundreds of phones over a decade of diving.
So these are some of the phones that I found.
He's often called after people drop their devices at spots like this one at Lonsdale Quay. Despite the warning signs, the slats in these benches make for an easy escape. Another place he's often called to, Science World.
They drop so many phones, people getting in and out of dragon boats and the rental paddle crafts, right? My phone number is just on the wall.
Wang charges $100 per hour for the recoveries. Sometimes he does it for free during his ocean floor cleanups where he picks up trash.
And I'll just look, the next time I run into it, I'll just remember and I'll just get it back to you.
One recovery Wang won't forget. He found a phone for a couple who had thousands of baby photos they hadn't backed up.
He had his new phone in a lanyard on a pouch, fully secured to his neck, right? He was not letting, he didn't care what he looked like, didn't care that it looked dorky, he just wanted the phone to survive.
As we head into what he calls cell phone recovery season, he has one reminder.
If you're near water, hang on to your stuff.
Isabella Zavarisi, CTV News, North Vancouver.
All right, quickly getting back to the stormy weather we've been experiencing west of the city. The tornado warning has ended, and there are still severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, so keep your eyes on the skies. And have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks for sharing your time with us.
Eyes on the skies.